Or right now, there are more than 105 million people in the U.S. caring for a loved one who is injured, wounded, or ill. This number is expected to grow as our 65 and over population ages. But who's caring for the caregivers? Sisters J.J. Elliott Hill and Natalie Elliott Handy, hosts of the popular Confessions of a Reluctant Caregiver podcast, know that sometimes advocates need advocates. Ladies, I love the name of your podcast because it just tells it exactly like it is. So you're saying the role of caregiver is obviously very essential. After the passing of your father, both of you and your sister found yourselves kind of taking on this role. What was that like?
Oh, well, our dad passed in 2011, but prior to that, our mom was actually diagnosed with Parkinson's at 52, and we always thought Dad was going to take care of her. And it wasn't until 2019 that we actually started taking care of her full time. What it was like was that we were completely unprepared. We didn't exactly know what we were supposed to do. That not being prepared, I think, was the scariest part.
Well, and it's a conversation that most families don't want to have. It's either impolite or it's just not something we talk about, or girls will worry about that when the time comes. And we always advocate, have the conversation now, because that proper planning allows your caregiving experience to be so much more successful.
That is so true, because sometimes it's just an uncomfortable conversation to have. One, you don't want to think of your parents as, being like that. You just want this image of everybody's, lives forever and we're all happy, but it's, that's not real life. And what did you find too, other than the, just not knowing and being prepared, some of the biggest challenges were for y'all?
Well, there's three of us. There's myself, Natalie, and my youngest sister, Emily. And for anyone that's doing it alone, we think you're amazing. Some of the biggest challenges is that you do everything. You are the lawyer, the accountant, your transportation, you're an insurance specialist. And that really has been the hardest thing, is finding time to do everything. And it's hard to ask for help. I think that's the reluctancy, is you're a little scared to ask for help. The biggest thing we would love to tell any caregiver is that you're not alone, and that you have to build a team of advocates for you, because you're an advocate as well, but you have to have someone that advocates for you. Great example, you find advocates in the most bizarre places. You're not expecting them, basically. Our mom's, our pension company actually had a clerical error, and they weren't going to fill a prescription for her in 2023. It was a critical medication she had to have every day. And CVS Specialty Pharmacy stepped up and said, we're going to fill that, because I think in my heart they said it's the right thing to do. They're not an advocate I ever thought I would have. CVS Specialty, it was a benefit that our mom had as part of her insurance. And you have to find the right people to be on your team.
I love that, because what would you have done? I mean, that's a medication that she has to have. It's not that something she's just choosing, oh, this will be fun to take. I mean, it was vital to her health.
We can't even imagine, honestly, because without this medication, it's a life-saving medication for us. She used to take 20 pills a day, and that's very hard, especially as you age and swallowing. And so our mom has a pump. That's why it comes through the specialty pharmacy, and the pump comes in, is attached to her body. And, it requires, it's not just the medication itself, it's the batteries, it's the gloves, it's all the pieces that Eileen and the staff at Specialty Pharmacy ensures that we have, that we don't have to think about. And that, as a caregiver, one less thing I have to worry about makes my life so much easier.
Okay, can anybody be a part of this CVS Specialty? Because it sounds like that was part of one of your mom's benefits, but I'm why are more people not using that?
It definitely is part of a benefit that she has. It's for any type of critical illness, and it's because there is definitely an extra touch that people like ourselves need, because her medicine is, it's specialized. You can go in and get your typical script at your CVS, but with Specialty Pharmacy, they are reaching out to us, and it really feels like her medicine is as important to them as it is to us. But I would recommend, Natalie and I, we're big proponents of you should know your benefits with your insurance program. If you don't have specialty pharmacy on there, you should
ask for it.
Yeah, ask for it.
Y'all, that is great advice because it's something I never have thought of. I didn't even know that that was an option. So you just opened a lot of people's eyes right here. Yeah. Y'all are amazing daughters. So, I'm sorry that you lost your dad and that you've had this hard role, but I appreciate you kind of going through your experience, and you're going to make the lives of a lot of other people a lot easier. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if people want to learn more about all this, is there a website that we could send them to?
Sure. To find resources, you can go to our website, confessionsofareluctantcaregiver.com. There's resources, there's training, of course, the podcast. You can also, which we love to use, CVS Specialty.com. Lots of resources. And of course, we encourage individuals, if you're a first-time caregiver or a long-time caregiver, use the term caregiver or caregiving in your search engine, and you can find resources locally on a state level and a national level to help you with your loved one.
Thank you so much, ladies. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank
Megan.
you.